Are we recording is the question everywhere here. Welcome in Hashmark Radio, Hashmark Sports, Hashmark sports.com, as well as what else am I forgetting here? I don't even know. Welcome into HFT, the first episode of Hashmark Fantasy Talk with Duke and Dave. This is your idea.
Yes, it is.
Now you're an avid fantasy football player, guy Duke. We're both here at Hashmark Sports. Here's my other ring. We've both won titles. How many titles have you won in fantasy football?
In 2 years, I've only gotten one, but I'm looking to add to the collection this year.
Is that mic? Well, pull that mic close. Can you get closer to that mic? Pull that closer, or at least just talk. I want to hear it.
Hello?
That does sound better. Move closer to that if you can. I'll move this table a little bit, and I'll move the camera over.
Yeah.
And this is live. I get it. I don't care. We don't get it right. There we go. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Can you hear yourself?
Yeah.
I can't hear it. I just unplugged by accident. Okay, so you've got 2 championships under your belt from fantasy football, correct?
I have one in 2 years.
1 championship in 2 years.
Yes.
Okay, take me through some strategies for fantasy football for first timers, because there's a lot of folks that are just getting into fantasy football.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for them?
One thing I recommend, first off, is getting the weapons. It's very important to go and get a star wideout and a star running back. That way your fantasy value can rise up. The points will go up. Quarterbacks you could take in rounds 3 to 5.
Now we're talking, and I didn't do a good job of this, so I apologize to everybody. There are different leagues. There are standard leagues. There are PPR leagues, but we're mainly just talking standard league, 10 to 12, anywhere from 8 to 12 players.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And in standard scoring, it just means that for any of you ladies out there who are listening and possibly going to be, joining your husband's league or something, is that, points per game, points per catch, PPR, or points per reception. That's the difference we're talking about. So when we talk about standard versus PPR, now you understand. And I just set that standard, I guess, for the show here. And when I say it was Duke's idea, I just meant that, Duke, we all work at Hashmark Sports, and we collab with John's Architectural Metal, of course. And that's who this show is sponsored by, John's Architectural Metal Fabrication Solutions. That is not the name of their place. I do apologize. It's John's Architectural Metal Solutions, Inc., and they're sponsored by us. So each week, you guys are going to hear us kind of talk about a Jam Soul drop of the week, a Jam Soul pickup of the week, and we're going to constantly be kind of evaluating players, because for folks who are just joining fantasy, you've got to kind of pay attention.
Yep. That's the most important thing to do, because you never know. Each week it's based off an opponent and setting the best lineup you can possible to go out and get the win at the end of the week.
That's my fault for everybody listening on Spaces. If anybody is, I just can't sit still. And Duke's probably like, what in the fuck is this guy doing? Jesus Christ. Can't get... Duke, tell him, did you know this much went into doing like radio or just shows in general?
No, I've been watching radio, podcasts, and all that kind of stuff for many years now. So
yep,
every show has its own unique background story, and it's awesome to be a part of.
Good. Well, we're excited to have you here. I feel like it's a I feel like it's meant to be. I feel like you guys have a lot to offer, and a lot to share about fantasy football knowledge. So let's talk about some fantasy football strategies overall. And now we're going to kind of go into the deeper kind of fantasy football player here, and we'll talk. Basically, I think we'll just focus on 10-man standard league now today. And maybe we could break down some other ones in the show. So what's your strategy when you go into a 10-man standard team draft?
Okay, so basically it depends on where you're placed in the draft lottery and where you go. So basically I had the top 10 pulled up. 7 wide receivers are in the top 10 based off of mock drafts and all fantasy leagues.
Okay.
So it's all these wide receivers, especially the top 4, you can't miss. But one I would try to rear away from is Cooper Kupp.
Okay.
He's coming off a major injury. The Rams are coming on a rebuild season. We don't know how much longer Matthew Stafford's going to play. right?
Yep.
So, I mean, you have Stetson Bennett, who they drafted in the 4th round. They're looking to develop him. So, I mean, he's really the big weapon that they have. All the rest of the wideouts on the Rams, I don't really trust.
Okay.
As far as fantasy value,
You're just not going with them.
no,
Okay.
I do not. I would rear away from Cooper Kupp personally myself.
So in the first round of a fantasy football draft, what are you looking at though overall when it comes to quarterback play, running back play? The old adage, you should just be draft a running back and you're set. Now I never did that. I was like, I took Aaron Rodgers for years.
I had him on my roster last year. Yep.
And I mean, I won two championships. As you can see, I'm wearing the 2 rings here. It's the only show I wear the rings.
I still have to bring mine on.
You have a championship.
Yep.
And, I just feel like I always took a wide receiver or a quarterback, and then I would stun the world, and I would take either another wide receiver and come back and then hit tight end. Because the tight end position was so hard to fill throughout the year that I knew we would have opportunities to find running backs on the waiver wire.
Yeah.
People get injured.
Yep.
And depending on how your waiver wire is set up, it really depends on that strategy too, right?
It is.
And I'm one of those who sets the alarm at Tuesday, Wednesday night. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm fucking up. If this shit clears at 3:33, you bet your ass. I'm 3:34.
Yeah, that's how I found one of mine. One of the pieces that I got to develop my championship team hit the waiver wire. I think it was like week 12.
Yep.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait, he's available right now?
Yep.
It was actually Najee Harris from Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
So I was able to pick that up.
And that's a great point, because was there somebody else you were going to mention or no? Sorry, finish that thought.
No, I was just going to say that when I saw him out there, I was looking for a number 2 back. Cordell Patterson was still coming off aching injuries. And I was like, okay, I need someone to help me with Saquon. So when I saw that he was out there, I'm like, this is the final piece of the puzzle.
And as you get into the end of the season, and it gets colder, there's a lot more running that takes place, right? Players teams aren't throwing the ball as much. But I think as the league went to that more passing attack versus running style, I think anybody who had that Aaron Rodgers and that gap of 10 years had to win a title.
Yeah, definitely.
Too. And when it comes to drafting strategy, you really just got to understand the league you're in. I've been in friends leagues where they have 8 players, 8-player leagues. Like you guys used to do 8-player leagues, and we're kind of maybe going to 10 in that, which I understand. But in an 8-team, you're going to have a lot more juicier benches and players that there's so many superstars that doesn't create trades within the league.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So it's like, who do with 10, I always thought 10 standard was the absolute best.
Right.
Are they allowing kickers? These are just random thoughts here now.
Yeah, that's what
are they allowing
the positions. Yeah.
But are they allowing kickers to get the half points? Or do they, because like if they kick a 53-yard field goal, in my eyes, it's got to be 5.3.
That's what it is.
It is now.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that. And let me just say this. I'm like the listening audience. Okay. And I think I probably should have done a better job of this at the start of the show. But I think why this show is going to work for 2 reasons. You're into fantasy football. You're younger. I'm older. I played fantasy football for a long time, had 2 kids, did the bullshit. It's not bullshit. Love you, honey. And now I'm getting back into it years later. So it's going to be interesting to see if my strategies pay off. But you were naming Najee Harris. Odell Beckham Jr. was a hot one that was picked up for a long time. And Antonio Brown, another one, these were guys that nobody ever heard of that I was picking up. Never drafted a rookie, though, which we'll get to here in a second. And we're going to go right into that. I know we were jumping around a little bit. But from a strategy perspective, I just want to talk defense real quick. When are you selecting a defense?
I would say that's like in the later rounds.
Okay.
Like in the double-digit rounds. Because defenses, there's actually a lot of good ones.
So let's just assume we have to take a just a team defense, not players.
Yeah.
So how do you go about that? Are you thinking, when you say later rounds, you're doing 12, 13, 14?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I stun the world. Again, I always take like the 10th round usually is when I'm taking defenses, because my theory and philosophy is I don't want a lot of decisions. Like this, if I can get as many positions as real starters and dominant, then I don't have to go deep into the bench and worry about it. But we do have bye weeks. Anyways, now I'm fucking all over the place. But so 12, so you're just going to put emphasis on your team where you think you're going to get the most value and bang for buck. No one's way is right or wrong. Do you believe fantasy is all luck?
It's partially luck.
Okay.
But I also have a really deep strategy when it comes to winning a championship. Basically, how that goes is I would say about 20% is luck.
Okay.
80% is how you develop a roster every week.
Okay.
Based off of who your opponent is, who that player you have on your lineup is playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew at one point in the season, it was like the middle of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm going to win this. I was all confident, and I went out. I'm serious. I went out there and I said, I'm going to come out and win this.
Hell yeah.
I have every bit of confidence in my team and my players that I'm going to come out and win this thing. And
you took that approach. You took that real like coach's approach to it.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love it, man. And that's what you got to do with fantasy, though. If you really want to do it right, you got to take it full stride. You got to get into this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember walking outside, putting headphones on, listening to like Gridiron Great music, and just acting like I'm in the Super Bowl. And my neighbors are like, "What the fuck is he doing outside? It's 40 degrees, All right, let's jump into some projections here. Brought to you in part by John's Architectural Metal Solutions, Inc. You can head over to jamsoul.com, check them out. High-end exteriors, yes, ACM panel, aluminum composites, slate, and more. Go check them out at jamsoul.com. Quarterback projections. We're not going to go over all of them. We're going to go over some of them. I'll just pick them out here, save some for next week. We're going to go over the top three for every position except defense and kicker. So let's go over the top three quarterback, Duke. Take it away here.
Okay, so
2023 draft, right? Coming up here?
Yes.
Yeah.
So right now, the number one quarterback that's projected to have the most success is Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Philadelphia Eagles.
Eagles. But this is my take on that.
What do you got?
They have the hardest schedule in the NFL this season. They got a lot of tough opponents in the middle of the year. The first couple weeks, okay, he might have the best numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But then you play the Jets, Dolphins, and the Cowboys 3 out of a 4-week span. Those are all tough defenses.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like teams are going to get a little bit more of an edge on Jalen Hurts. Last year, he had the best season of his career. Do I think it can happen again? Maybe not right now. So I don't know if I agree with that personally.
All right, let's go the next one.
Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills.
Interesting.
Now, he's always going to be a hot camaraderie. He puts up great passing numbers. He can run the football. I mean, the Bills are always going to be on the top of the AFC standings at the end of every year. The Bills' offense is always good, but their running game is lacking. So do you think that it'll take a toll on his body?
He's always been an interesting guy for me. I never drafted him. I don't think I want to for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
And because Buffalo just can't get their shit together in general over the past couple of years,
especially in January.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. But I get we're talking fantasy numbers, right? So
yeah,
it makes sense. All right, who's number 3?
Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep. Okay.
Which a lot of people think that he could be a first-round caliber pick.
I agree
this year.
I agree with that,
and I do too.
I mean,
I absolutely agree with that. I mean, he's coming off an MVP season. It's not going to be the last one, by the way.
Oh no,
it won't be the last.
I mean, dude, this to me, I mean, you want to talk about steal? I mean, it's got to be Pat Mahomes, and this one talking about these quarterbacks that are now running and scoring and that are so elite. Listen, you can skip all this shit and go, where's Justin Fields on that list?
Justin Fields is.
I want to know where Fields is at.
Let's go based off of quarterbacks.
Yeah, just QB.
Let's see, let me.
Because that'll be kind of.
He is ranked 10th.
And that makes sense. So,
but there's also some of these quarterbacks in here that I feel like will be below Justin Fields.
Name the top 10. Just go after Pat. Who's 4?
Joe Burrow of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay, 5.
Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens.
6.
Deshaun Watson, the Cleveland Browns.
Wow, and I think that could be something this year. I like him.
Yeah.
Everybody hates him. I love him. All right, who's 7?
Justin Herbert.
Wow.
Of the Chargers.
Yeah,
he's now got a great offensive coordinator.
My gosh.
So I would not sleep on Justin Herbert.
There's a lot of good quarterbacks.
Yes, there is.
If you're playing in a 2 quarterback system, just know that you've got
Justin Herbert is definitely someone to consider.
Yes, but you've almost got to pull the trigger on a quarterback a little bit earlier, I think,
definitely,
rather than later. If you're going 2 QB, just remember that. Okay, number 8.
Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh my God!
I don't think but I don't think that at all.
That is in there because he's part of Dallas, right?
It's America's team, so they got to put him in there.
I agree. Okay, number 9,
Daniel Jones of the New York Giants.
There's my guy.
I actually won with him on my roster last year.
He should be higher on that list. I don't know how much weed all these guys smoke, but I feel like sorry, I didn't mean that. All right, who's number 9? Or did we just do it? Who's 10?
Oh, the Fields.
Justin Fields done. Okay, yeah.
But I feel like Justin Fields could be top 8, top 7.
I think Fields has a better fantasy year.
Oh, I believe he's going to be very valued
than Daniel Jones.
I absolutely agree with that.
I'll call it now, and I think Justin Fields, 2023, easily ends up in top 5 fantasy for quarterbacks. And the you can win this year
with Justin Fields on your roster.
Justin Fields on your roster.
Yes, I do believe
pending
that.
Injury or whatever.
Yep, I believe that 1,000%.
Now, if you're talking to a Packers fan, they may disagree.
They might disagree, yes.
Whatever. What's our time at here? Do we have any? I don't even know how to mark time. Does it say anywhere?
I don't think it says it up there.
All right, we're good. So let's just do running backs. After that, let's go over top 10 running backs here, and then we'll save some other ones for next week. And we got defensive and kickers to go over. Who's being dropped, stay away, rookie watch, things like that. But let's just go over running backs real quick down the list.
The number 1 running back is Christian McCaffrey of the 49ers.
Who is high and NFL.com. Are you fucking kidding me?
Especially if they don't even know what their quarterback situation is going into the season. Who's going to throw him the ball?
God.
It's the same thing that happened in Carolina.
Holy shit. Is he going to stay healthy?
That's the thing. Should someone take that as your round 1 or 2 draft pick?
This is a no-brainer, guys. This year, stay away from the running backs. Just get a quarterback who can fucking run and score, and get a running back a
wide receiver. It's a loaded wide receiver fantasy draft.
You ain't kidding. And if you can load up at the top, but Christian McCaffrey, when healthy, I get it. I get it.
I absolutely get it too. But would I put him as my number 1 choice for a fantasy running back? No, I would not either.
Number 2.
Austin, the Chargers, which I believe is the best fantasy running back coming into this year.
A lot of value, especially with that throw game going on.
Especially with Kellen Moore coming there and the way he uses every weapon in his offense. I believe the Chargers are going to have a great year with weapons.
I like Austin Eckler. A lot of overs in those. I would take the over, by the way, in that Charger game week 1 before the line goes up.
Oh, yeah.
Who's number 3?
Joe Mixon of the Bengals.
Do you like that? Do you like that trade? Or did he leave? He left them, right?
No, it was the backup that for him.
Oh, that's right. All right. Who's that?
Josh Jacobs of the Raiders.
Okay.
Coming in a contract holdout season.
Josh Jacobs. Yeah. What the hell? Sorry, go ahead.
Coming into this year, who knows how he'll play. He's got a contract on his mind. He did lead the league in rushing last year.
Okay.
So that's good for a fantasy perspective. But would you trust that right away? I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's risky. That's risky to me. I don't know. Okay. Number 5 or 6. Were we at 5?
Yeah, 5. Ramondre Stevenson of the Patriots.
Wow. I like that though. I think that could be a higher number. Like he should. I don't know. No, that's about right. I think he should probably be above Josh Jacobs. Maybe.
Yeah, he's consistent.
They're gonna run.
Yeah, because with Mac Jones, who knows how he'll perform this season?
Yeah. Well, and Patriots in general, I guess that could be a shitty situation.
They're in a really tough division too. Who knows how that's gonna work out?
It could be a very shitty situation. All right, who's next?
Derrick Henry.
There's a guy
on a Titans team that their quarterback situation is a mess. They did get DeAndre Hopkins, but how's that going to turn out for Derrick Henry? Can he stay healthy?
And I think when you become that, one focused team. Like
that's all teams focus on is Derrick Henry. He's 28 years old, and they're going to go for his legs. He's a big back.
Yeah, I mean, if I were them, I would just say, okay, Derrick, you're not playing for the postseason if we ever get close. But I get it. Is Derrick Henry in a trade year?
No.
Okay. Who's next?
Nick Chubb of the Browns.
I like Chubb.
I do too.
I feel like he should be up that list too.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Aaron Jones of the Packers.
He's older, right? No?
No, he's still in the younger, but he's coming in the Jordan Love season. So
you just don't know. And if Love is not, I don't want to say, say Love's a flop, but in general, if it's not working out, they become one dimensional. Could be a problem. Could be a problem.
It could be a major problem.
But I don't know. I feel like their offensive scheme is pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
And they want to put up points. I don't know.
For sure.
Who's next?
Saquon Barkley of the Giants. I won with him last year on my roster, but he's coming into a franchise tagged year.
Mm-hmm.
He only got a $1 million raise when they renegotiated it. He's going to play angry.
He's not happy.
He's not happy.
I thought he should have been a Bear. But
a lot of people were wanting that. A lot of Bears fans were wanting that.
Is this guy? I think through history. See, here's what you just don't know. It's the injuries, right? You don't know. You don't know if it's because it's the person. You don't know if it's just because this shit just happens. These guys are crazy. But
the running back position value as far as a whole is decreasing year by year.
It really is. And, these guys are asking for the money. And when you look at a guy like Saquon Barkley, it's like, to me, should be easily number one here, but just has not been able to sustain that. Yeah, that growth. Okay, who's next?
And then the final one is Tony Pollard of the Cowboys.
Yeah, on a lot of teams last year on the waiver wire, and then Pollard ended up playing the whole end of the year, didn't he?
Yeah,
last year? Yeah.
He was basically taking starting reps, and now he is the premier back for America's team. So
love it.
Who knows how that'll work out?
Okay, so we'll. Rookie watch. And what do we got on thoughts? First, let's go on rookies in general. Do you draft them? Do you not? Or does it depend? And then let's jump in. Let's just go right into rookie watch because there are a couple rookies that you could take here over some of these backs.
Yes. The one in most mock drafts I've seen as far as a rookie to be in the top 10, I've never seen this going into this year. Bijan Robinson from Texas plays for the Atlanta Falcons. He is a very dynamic running back.
Who's the guy on the Lions? Detroit Lions. Isn't that
Jameer Gibbs?
Is he? He's a rookie.
Yeah, he's a rookie.
All right.
I would look into that maybe later in the year.
Okay, but he's not. Okay.
Or later rounds. He's there.
Who does Detroit have? Who's running for Detroit?
David Montgomery, I think.
That's no shit. Ex-Bear.
Yeah.
If anybody's wondering, I'm a Bears fan and Duke. You are. What are you?
I'm a Colts fan.
Colts fan. That's right. Okay. Colts and Bears. Great. All right. So keep going. Running backs.
Yeah, well, as far as Bijan Robinson, it's risky, but he is a dynamic back. I feel like he can be a productive back like an Austin Eckler in the near future because of all the talent that he has. So, but is he a top 10 worthy back or overall pick
in the first round?
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think so yet. You would have to see how his rookie year pans out.
Sure.
Because you're taking a big risk with that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever drafted a rookie before. Maybe Saquon. I think that was it, and it panned out pretty well.
Yes,
that was great. And because that was the risk, was like, okay, if he's gonna go all out, like, if he's gonna get injured, he's gonna get injured, and that was a fucking great year.
Yes, it was
scoring like fucking 3-4 touchdowns a year. So, anyways, okay. You said Bijan Robinson from Texas, who's on the Atlanta Falcons. Be on the watch for him. And Detroit's Jameer Gibbs later. I would say, too, if you're going to draft David Montgomery, you better have a plan to have Jameer Gibbs on your team.
On your bench.
Just in case, right?
Yeah, I've seen teams carry both running backs from one team on their roster.
Fantasy?
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. And that plays a role, especially if it's I think it's easier to manage from in that specific situation than it is with like New England Patriots and having like James White and somebody else, right? Where you just don't know who's going to do anything, right? Unless and then it goes into points per reception and things like that. So my strategy on rookies is exactly that, kind of watch them out, except it was Saquon, I would, but I will say this. if you are in a situation where Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, and all these running backs are gone, because you're probably going to see a lot of people taking running backs first, because that's what's always been said, right? And you get if you're playing a co-ed league, girls come in, they're just going to draft who they think is hot or whatever, right? So we're talking about some serious leagues here.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a running back and you've got the tight end position solidified, wide receiver, you've already drafted, let's say you took Pat Mahomes 4th, okay?
Yeah.
And you're coming around 5, and Bijan Robinson's available. I mean, you got to pull the trigger.
You have to pull the trigger.
Spot. Will he be around in round 5? Do you think?
No. Okay. No.
When does he go? 3, 2? He's got to go end of 2?
I would say he's going to be a top 3 round draft pick.
Well, I guess he can't rank. Can he rank with the running backs or no? Because he's never played, right?
No,
he's not.
Basically, all I've seen is just in top 10 draft orders.
Okay. Real quick, let's go over top 3 defense, top 3 kicker, and then we'll get the hell out of here.
Okay. Top 3 defenses coming into this year. We have the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay, of course.
Who I think is the best defense in football.
I agree with that. And they're looking okay.
They just added Javon Hargrave for the interior D-line along with Eric Armstead. If you can get Nick Bosa's contract situation straightened away, you have the best middle linebacker in the league, I believe, in Fred Warner. You have a great defense. It's a great plan for that side of the ball for the 49ers. I would definitely take them with your defense.
So you're going to be eyeing the 49ers first. I'm probably, if I had to look at something on a sleeping side of defenses, I'm going to, I don't know where these fuckers rank. I don't even have any notes here.
I have it in front of me.
Where are the New York Jets at?
As far as defenses?
Yeah.
Top 5.
Okay.
They're the 5th best defense.
So I'm onto something here.
Yes, you are.
Okay, I'm onto something here.
And I agree with that too. I mean, your head coach is a defensive-minded head coach, which is what you want.
Yep.
For a team that has Aaron Rodgers, who has a great offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, who's meant to be an offensive coordinator. I'm gonna put that out there.
Okay.
But
I agree with that.
And I think you're onto something. That's a good defense to pick.
Sleeper defense. I think people still see that name, Jets, and just they shy away from it. They might get a little bit more attention from the Aaron Rodgers situation, but there's a guy too. We talk about quarterbacks that we're talking about these guys playing a lot longer than back in the day. And Aaron Rodgers is coming off his summer of being in a dark room for 10 fucking days and he's eating mushrooms and fucking whatever. He's still going to be a deadly fucking quarterback.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Deadly fucking quarterback.
No doubt about it.
So I don't want to put a lot of emphasis on the run game and the mobile quarterback. Because Aaron Rodgers mobile, he'll put it in, but don't be surprised if Rodgers throws 40 touchdowns this season.
I would not be surprised either. He has a lot of weapons to throw the ball to.
And I think he wants to prove something still.
Oh, I believe that. He definitely has a chip on his shoulder. Everybody thinks since he's been in Green Bay for 18 seasons that, this is the tail end. He's just going to have like a Brett Favre ending where he gets injured, doesn't play well. No, he's going to go out and show people that he's still him.
The classic, you go out, you have all these fucking pills or whatever. But the reality is he went out. Well, Brett Favre, the Advil, leave, all that shit or whatever he was doing. But I just feel like the leaving the game is a lot different. It doesn't end as tragic. And I think, look, the Packers know Aaron Rodgers can play. It is what it is. 18th season. At some point, you've got to move on. And I'm glad they did. And I'm happy Aaron Rodgers is happy. And look, 5 years, 3. I mean, he's gonna play. He's not gonna.
Oh no, he has a couple more years left in him
easily. Okay. What did we have from a kicking standpoint, and what's your take on kickers in general in leagues? We've had a lot of guys in our league that are like, fuck kickers. We hate them.
Kickers is definitely later rounds, but I do value that position. You want to be able to have a reliable one that has a high percentage on making field goals.
Okay.
Who you can always rely on in the clutch situations. The one guy that I had on my team last year, who's arguably the best kicker of all time, Justin Tucker from the Ravens.
Oh, that's my guy.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I definitely. I want to say both times won my 2 titles.
Where you had him as your kicker?
You had to be.
You have to.
Yeah. I mean, he's just so fucking money. Who's number 2?
Daniel Carlson from the Raiders, which he's a very good one too.
And one that a lot of people haven't heard of. So
yeah.
So he's is this his third or fourth year in the league?
I believe it's year 4.
Okay. I feel like, when I got into fantasy, most of the kickers in the league were, back in the day. I want to talk about kickers for a second. What pissed me off was fucking. Robbie Gould, I thought should have always just been a Bear. Never left, but anyways.
Right, yeah. He's still a good kicker.
He wants to come back for the one day and retire as a Bear.
Which that's
dope.
Very deserving.
Very dope. I don't want to talk about kicking though in Chicago. Even though it's like never been a big thing, but Matt Nagy and that whole fuck fest. Anyways.
Yeah.
Top 4 or 3 are who's number 3?
Harrison Butker from the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean
that's money.
The guy's got a boot.
He does.
And, high scoring offense, a lot of opportunity to be in the red zone. And, how many times you turn on a Chiefs game and they're on the 20 or the 15, Mahomes runs out of bounds or they fuck up a play that they probably practiced once and they're going to get 3 no matter what.
Their offense is pretty much guaranteed to get at least 3 points.
So I almost put that as maybe number 1. I would go Tucker, Carlson, maybe Carlson Tucker, because here's why Tucker's so valuable. Baltimore struggles getting the fucking ball goddamn past the 50 at times.
They do.
So they got to kick the fucking 50-yard field goal. And they make them. So you either go with the offense is either always in there and you're getting, more and less, like if he kicks a 30-yard and a 20-yard, but you're guaranteed, at least one 50-yarder, a 5-pointer from Rex Tucker. Guaranteed.
Yes, so, you are.
Okay. Kickers. Strategy for drafting for them. What are your thoughts? Is it dead last? Is it not last? For me, it's not.
Towards the bottom half of the draft.
Okay. Here's my thought. In fantasy football, I think you win championships with a good quarterback, a good defense, and a good kicker. Spread in with waiver wire. You have to have one waiver wire star that really comes in and does some shit. Number 1, because people underestimate the defensive position. People underestimate the kicking position. Yep. I can tell you right now, don't underestimate that shit. Anyways, that's kind of the strategy there is put emphasis on that and don't be afraid. This is going to sound fucked up. Don't be afraid in a really competitive league. If there's an opportunity to get another kicker, you got an open spot, but you already got a kicker. If you're allowed to take a kicker and there's somebody up there in that top fucking 15 and you just grab him.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Grab another defense. Don't just grab a fucking player because you feel like you need a player. It just doesn't make sense.
One tip I can give to people that play this. You have to take chances when it comes to playing fantasy. Because if you don't take chances, you're not going to get the jewelry on your finger that you deserve and that you work hard for and you anticipate when you draft.
And you hit the nail on the head because to me, when people say fantasy football, it's like, okay, hold on. Am I ready for that? Like that's a whole grind. It's I'm putting a lot of work into that to win a title. You're looking at upcoming matchups, week 9, your bye week is here. So I got to have this guy fill that spot in. And
that's a lot. That's how some of my losses came about, actually.
See?
Yeah. But that's okay to have that because as long as you play your best at the end of the year, that's what's going to matter.
Yep.
That's what you have to reflect on. I was at a record that I didn't like at one point, but like I told Dave earlier in the show that I came out with the mentality that I'm going to win this. I'm going to believe in my guys. I'm not making no changes.
And you brought up a great point when we were looking at past rosters where you look at the team that you draft and then the team that you end with, it should be different.
Yes, it should be.
You should have the quarterback shouldn't change unless you had a major draft or injury throughout the year. Your quarterback, you should have your core starters. Your tight end should never, you should have, and that's why I always said, fuck, this is crazy, but even if it's PPR, you might want to even take a tight end number 2. I don't know, it's fucking crazy.
Kelsey was my second round choice last year.
Yeah, I was taking Rob Gronkowski, and here was my strategy when I won my second title. I had Aaron Rodgers as number 1, Rob Gronkowski number 2, and then I came through, I don't know what the fuck happened, but somehow I had like Antonio Brown or some shit, and I had no running back. I sacrificed it because I know I can negotiate and trade. And
What's that say for round 4 later to
yeah,
get back?
yeah. I said, fuck it. I went 5 rounds without a running back. And my shit was not great in that position throughout the season. But I didn't have to tinker with tight end because I ended up drafting who was the tight end on the Baltimore Ravens his second year?
Mark Andrews,
who really started popping. So I had him on the bench. Nobody knew about Mark Andrews.
No, right now he's the number 2 tight end.
Exactly.
Available.
And we didn't go over tight ends. So let's end with tight ends and we got to get the hell out of here. We're getting yelled at.
Yep.
Tight ends.
Travis Kelce is obviously the number 1 choice. Obviously.
No brainer.
No brainer.
I mean, if let me talk to you about this. Do you combo? Could you stun the world with going running back? Could you possibly get an Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs? You could probably get Bijan Robinson and Pat Mahomes. Could you tee up Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce as a 1-2 combo on your team?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
That's honestly a dream of mine, even though that's like
not going to happen.
Probably more than likely not going to happen. Okay. That would be a great
could happen.
Thing,
through,
yes.
Could happen through a trade.
It could, and that I would definitely pair that.
I mean, because I didn't think about that, but that that could be a deadly duo there. Who's number 2?
Mark Andrews.
Mark, our guy. Okay, the guy we just talked about.
Yeah,
phenomenal fucking tight end.
Oklahoma alumni. I'm a huge Oklahoma football fan, so
he set records there.
Yes, he did.
I'm talking about these positions are so undervalued, and these are to me the ones that win the titles. Who's number 3?
Darren Waller for the Giants, who they just acquired.
Wow, Daniel Jones. He needed that target.
Yes, he did. His wide receiver room is very thin. So besides Saquon Barkley, they needed to make that trade happen.
Daniel Jones is going to be running for his life again.
Yeah. I think the Giants will win a lot of games from their offense, but their defense might lose them a lot too.
Yeah, not one you're going to want to pair on your team, but one that you're going to want to look for offensive players going against, right? Another strategy. Who are these guys playing this week versus
that's what you have to mainly pay attention to.
And if you're in a 10-man league or even a 12-man league, don't be afraid to have those 2 spots completely open where you're going to be just moving fucking players around because it could get to be a shit show easy. And we're really excited about this year. So this is Hashmark Radio. So we've launched Hashmark Radio, which is basically a bunch of shows that are going to be on Spaces here on Twitter. We've got all our shows on Hashmark Sports YouTube. This will be on both recorded. We're going to be doing Hashmark Fantasy Show every week, Tuesday before waiver wire pickups, which are Wednesday. Keeping everybody kind of in the loop, who to look for, what not to look for. And this is probably one of the more passionate shows that we're going to have because we're both passionate about it. And,
absolutely.
2 fucking rings here, 1 ring there. We only have that should be our rule. You can't be on the show unless you've won a title.
Yeah, exactly. Because it makes more sense that way.
Yeah. You just don't know what you're doing. You've never won. You suck. You fucking suck. Nobody cares how many times you made it there. All right. We love everybody. Duke, any final thoughts heading into this week? And what should people be doing now? Be getting prepared for their fantasy draft.
Basically, I did this back in April.
Oh, you're ready. You're Christmas shopper. You're early. Yeah. You're early.
Yeah. Basically, like what I do is I make a whole board position based of everybody that I want to pick for my team.
Okay.
And I'll mark it off as I go through the draft.
Got it.
So you got to make a board because that's how you're going to get your best strategy. That way you're not scrolling through the screen or your computer during draft day. Sure. You're like, like you don't want that. You want to be prepared, have a board ready, have it ready to go.
And you know what league you're in. If you're in a serious league, if you're in a crap league, you know what you have to do. And every league brings in a little bit of different fun and funk. Real quick, what does the loser have to do in your league? Anything outrageous when they lose? Okay. So for our fantasy league, they have to wear a very tight Jay Cutler pink jersey out to a bar all day and get just completely destroyed. So as I've won 2 titles, I've lost a lot of Super Bowls. It's been like 7 fucking Super Bowls. I'm like the Buffalo Bills, and I've only won 2, but I've had to wear that fucking jersey a lot. I've got it signed. I have it somewhere. It should be in this fucking office. I don't know why it's not here. But anyways, strategy for any strategy thoughts I have here, final thoughts here. Just don't be afraid to do something different. I'm not going to tell you where to go or stay away from, but like I said, You want to take a quarterback first, take the fucking quarterback. You want to take a tight end, take the fucking tight end. I don't even give a shit if you take a defense. Make some noise in your draft, but make sure it fits whatever you are doing. 12-team, PPR, You're not going to draft the same fucking guys that you're going to draft in a PPR league than you're going to draft in the standard league and in certain situations. So just know what you're doing. And if it's a fun shit league and you're a girl, give your brother the login, have him do it, and win the league, right? That's the best way to do it. All right, God bless America. We're out of here. Love you. Bye.